This podcast is for you. Your co-hosts, Ben Dodge and Eric Huso at Effect Epic Consulting, believe that your potential is limitless. Tapping into this potential is how you can affect epic results in your life, relationships, and business. Welcome to the Principles of Epic Growth.
Buenos dias.
How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Are you kidding? On a day like today where we get to talk about authenticity, I'm fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful day today.
I'm authentically fantastic.
Authentically, inauthentically fantastic.
Man, authenticity is one of those topics where I don't think there's a single person on the planet that doesn't struggle with it.
Unless you're perfect.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So authenticity is it's a powerful character trait and principle. It really just turns you into a magnet where people in business come to you as opposed to you having to go to them. It's just unbelievably powerful in every relationship you can have.
I love that analogy you just used, that it's magnetic. Authenticity is magnetic. It's very attractive. When you experience someone as being authentic, you gravitate to that person. You want to be around them. And whether that's in a personal relationship or a business relationship, it just puts you in a really powerful position to make a difference, to make an impact in someone's life when you are authentic.
Yeah, oh yeah. So let's break it down.
Okay. Well, in its most simple definition, authenticity is aligning who you know you are with who others experience you as. So, in other words, like, do you know who you are? One of my favorite quotes is, know thyself, right?
Yeah.
So, do you know who you are? Have you made clear declarations of what you're committed to? And are you awake to how others are experiencing you? Because, you could think that you are one way, and others could be experiencing you in an entirely different way, experience you as somebody different than who you think you are, and so they experience you as inauthentic, and you lose your magnetic influence.
Yeah, the turmoil that people feel almost daily, right, on just basically being a fraud, right? They're trying to be who they think their boss thinks they should be, or they're trying to be who they think their spouse thinks they should be, or they're trying to be who their friends think they should be. So they're holding themselves out as some other person other than who they really are. You know, that fake front, that facade that we see and feel in other people all the time. And again, all of us struggle with it. Like, that's what we want to break down. We want to help everyone understand the principle of authenticity so they can be them. Because if I were to try and be you, Eric, I would suck at being you. But
That's for sure.
But I'd be really good at being me, right?
Yeah, and vice versa. You know, anytime I try to be Ben Dodge, like, I'm a really sucky version of Ben Dodge, but I can be an incredible me, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's the daily task, is to get to know you, who you are. You know, what makes you tick? What are your core values and principles? And then are you acting, behaving, thinking, and speaking in a manner that, is in alignment with your authentic self?
Yeah. So this is one of those principles that's a universal principle. The world recognizes it as something that leaders should be. And so, you've got all kinds of experts who've written books, produced seminars, trying to create this idea of what the perfect leader looks like. And so, your bookstores are full of books, full of products. You can sign up for seminar after seminar with all these experts telling you what you need to be in order to really be powerful. And so, just a couple statistics. So, since 2008, the number of professional articles written in the business world using the word authenticity has more than doubled. Doubled.
That's dramatic.
Okay. So, this is something that the world really has gravitated to. It's a topic that is really, because of its power, because of its magnetic power, they recognize it. It's something that is being talked about quite a bit.
Yeah.
However,
no question. And I think the irony there is, a leadership style, for example, is as unique as a fingerprint. If we're talking in the context of authenticity, then there's however many billions of people on the planet, there's that many different possible versions of leadership.
I love what you just said, and I think it bears repeating. Your leadership style is as unique as a fingerprint.
Yeah, yours is going to be different than mine.
That really resonates with me, okay? And so researchers have profiled the greatest leaders in the world, trying to identify what is that characteristic, what is that skill, what is that way of being that really we can package and sell. And the reality is there's as many books and as many ideas as there are people.
So in my opinion, the dirty little secret to authenticity, and we'll repeat this at the end, but the dirty little secret to authenticity is self-discipline. To be disciplined enough to be you, to not give in to the temptations, to be whatever you think others want you to be.
Yeah.
Self-discipline is the key.
I was working with a client once, and incredible person, love this person, but this person was just totally burdened with, I should do this, I should do that, I should be this. And so I came up with a phrase that I repeated to this client on multiple occasions. No good comes from should.
Oh, I love that. No good comes from should.
Yeah. Huh. If you're doing something because you should be doing something, you think you should be doing something, if that's a narrative that's going in your mind over and over, then authenticity is something that you're struggling with, most likely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, know yourself. Know your values. More importantly, know what you're committed to. So authenticity is being your true self, knowing who you are and being awake to how others experience you. So, I mean, that just absolutely requires that you know what you're committed to. I mean, here's another great opportunity for a little exercise. Either pause this or after this, take the time to go write down what your commitments are or review the commitments that you've written down from one of our other podcasts where we spoke about commitment.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait till the end of this. I'd actually pause it right now.
Yeah, should we just pause it or? Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, if you're going to know yourself, then you got take the time. If you're one of those people that are jogging and this is your deal, you're listening to this podcast because you're going to just get it done while you're driving or shopping or jogging. It really merits pausing it and just thinking about what's the most important things to me in my life. Like maybe you value honesty. Maybe you value your family and your work goals or whatever it is. Like go back to your commitments and again, maybe go back and review the podcast on commitments. But if you're going to know yourself, that takes time. It takes discipline, self-discipline to be able to take the time and do that and then just review those constantly. Keep those fresh in your mind. Yeah.
The great thing about being a human being is we are on a growth path, a consistent growth path. A phrase that I love, Stephen R. Covey used it, is living a life in crescendo, where you're always becoming more than you are. And so this authenticity, because we're consistently becoming more, we're consistently growing, developing, having new experiences, we're not going to just lock in, this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be forever. That's actually quite a limiting mindset. Because we're always growing and learning new things, this idea of an authenticity check is a regular thing, like an oil change.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I love something that you and I chatted about before. We're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
As human beings, our ambitions, our awareness, our knowledge, our experience, our goals, everything seems to change, quite drastically over time. For example, when I was, 4 or 5 years old, my ambitions were very different, right? my goals were, that's a little bit cheeseball because it's so extreme.
All I want to do is go play in the dirt.
Absolutely. I want to try and fly, right? I'm going to get an umbrella and jump off that roof. Now that I'm, a little bit older, let's be honest, I might try that still, but no.
I was going to say, maybe that wasn't such a good example for you, Maybe you'll just go ride your bike across the United States or the country of France. Yeah.
I am doing that in August. Yeah. So here's the thing, though. That's why a constant authenticity check is valuable, that's why taking the time to reflect on you and you know, I think one of the social media or pop phrases of the day is "you do you, I do me." Like, I don't know whether they were intentionally thinking about authenticity there, but I love that in the context of authenticity. So how can you do you if you don't know you? And your you today is probably a little different than last year, last month, last week, maybe even yesterday. You know, as we evolve, as we understand more principles, as we experience more with other people in this world, and you know, we're going to morph and change. And so constantly take that temperature, so to speak, of yourself, so you know who you are.
Yeah. So indeed, authenticity is a daily choice. It's something that every day that you'll have to look at yourself in the mirror, reminding yourself of what you're committed to, letting go of who others think you should be, and really embracing who you are and who you're becoming. And I use both of those, like who you are, embrace who you are, and embrace who you're becoming.
Yeah.
You know, who you've committed to be and become in the world. So that way you're not exchanging yourself for something that other people think that you should be.
One of the most dramatic, I think, illustrations of that kind of epiphany, so to speak, or that awareness where a person decides to just be themselves. They're not going to be what the world thinks they're supposed to be. They're not going to cower anymore to the version of themselves that isn't authentic. They're going to just be themselves. Was recently portrayed in one of my all-time favorite movies now, The Greatest Showman. You know, I know.
I'm tempted to sing it right now.
It's called "This Is Me," right? You know, she was the big, you know, bearded lady in that movie, or so portrayed, and when she embraced herself as who she was, I mean, powerful, absolutely powerful.
Yeah. Not only for herself, but the impact that she had on those around her.
Exactly. So look at the influence and the domino effect and that magnetic element of "This Is Me." I mean, I'm going to be honest. I probably listen to that 1 or 2 times a day. It's at the top of one of my playlists. It's inspirational, and I gave up my man card, whatever you want to say. I tear up, you bet. Like, it is an inspirational movie, and to me, it's just one of the most. It was one of the most fantastic movies ever made because it's so principle driven and so raw and real and authentic in portraying principles that, you know, land and resonate for me. For example, authenticity.
You know, maybe we should have everyone pause the recording and go listen to that again. Huh?
So I actually spent some YouTube time on that movie. There's quite a bit of behind the scenes stuff on YouTube, and there's a backstory with that lady who sings "This Is Me." And if hopefully I paraphrase and get this memory correct, but she was absolutely terrified in real life of singing and singing in public. And so they did this where the movie gets greenlit. It's a phrase, you know, that where they're kind of practicing to kind of get the green light to actually do the movie, because it was a dream and an idea for 4 or 5 years before they actually finally were able to get, you know, a green light to actually produce it. So in that process of, you know, winning everybody over and getting the production, there's a YouTube video, and it is, I mean, literally, I cried. It's powerful. There's a YouTube video of this lady kind of stepping up and singing this song in front of the rest of the cast for the first time. And Hugh Jackman's there. He was he was injured, I think, but came anyways. He had like some cancer thing removed, I think, or something like that. Anyways, powerful portrayal as they interview her and show her, and she kind of confesses how difficult that was. And then it literally demonstrates or portrays that very moment, like it's captured. That moment's captured when she has that courage for the first time to embrace that that's her, and she can do this, and she can overcome the fear and be who she wants to be. And she sings that song. Of course, this is backstage, right? And it just, I mean, the whole room was like
moved.
Yeah. I highly recommend looking at it. But it's authentic. It's an authentic portrayal of the principle authenticity.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So for those that are musical, you've experienced this. You've experienced it when you hear someone sing a song. When someone is aligned with the message of the song, and the message of the song is in alignment with what that person is committed to, and the words of the song are that person's words, you experience something differently when you hear that person sing versus somebody who's just singing something. And so if I'm coaching a musician, if I'm helping a musician to be better in their performance, I'm going to really encourage them to own those words. And if they can't own those words, they should probably pick a different piece, because the audience's experience of them singing that song, if they don't own those words, if they're not authentically aligned with the message that they're singing, it will just fall flat. It won't be magnetic at all.
Absolutely. Let's discuss what authenticity isn't. Okay? Authenticity isn't transparency. So in the business world, for example, a lot of our clients that we consult with that are these, CEOs, vice presidents, whatever, these large companies, they're constantly trapped in this mindset or paradigm from all of the, self-help books that they read, for example, that transparency is the key. In your relationships with people, be transparent, be open, be honest,
Be a jerk. That's really authentic.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? Because look, you can air your dirty laundry out all you want in the guise of being quote unquote transparent. That doesn't mean you're authentic, right? That doesn't mean you're actually being you, or that whatever you're discussing or whatever dirty laundry you're bringing out in front of people, that doesn't mean that that's you. You could just be airing out dirty laundry of some version of you that you think others are expecting of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Authenticity is not transparency.
But yet that word authenticity has been hijacked.
It has been hijacked. Yeah. The culture of the day is hijacked it, and a lot of people kind of think that it's transparency. It's not.
Yeah. I love the fact that authenticity and author, you can hear the same root there.
Yeah, love it.
Right? So when you're being authentic, you're the author of your life. You don't have somebody else writing your life story. You are writing your life story. You're the author of your life. You're not going to let somebody else write your life. Another reference to Covey. Covey has his 4 quadrants. And if you want to be powerful as a leader, as a person, you're going to spend your time in quadrant 2. But yet, so many of us who are leaders spend so much time in quadrant 1 because you got all these emergencies that have to be addressed right now. People, this is a need right now. The house is burning down, the building's burning down, and you've got to be the one to address it. And so all these requests come from other people, and it qualifies as urgent because it's a request coming from someone else. Yet, if there's something that I want to do, something that I'm committed to, I usually don't have the same urgency behind it. I usually will say, I'm going to if I have time, I'll get to that. And that is a great example of being inauthentic. That's an example of letting somebody else author your life. That's an example of somebody else author what your experience of the day is going to be. It's really messed up thinking. If you're going to live a powerful life to let other people dictate to you what's urgent and what's important, then you're being hijacked from what you've declared you're committed to. You're being inauthentic, and you're going to experience frustration. You're going to experience resentment. You're going to maybe even depression or anger or anxiety. Those are all feelings that will bubble up when you're allowing other people to author your life.
Yeah, I refuse to let other people author my life. I mean, my wife will probably, your sister,
Yes.
My wife will probably absolutely confirm that. I am one of those individuals that is just so, dadgum independent, and I refuse to be created by other people's decisions. I refuse to be controlled by the circumstances of the world that I'm in. I will author, almost everything about myself and what I do, right? I'm a creator. I'm going to do that. And everyone can be. One of the things that honestly just really strikes me as something worth discussing is stop what you're doing. Take a breath. Think about what your intention is in the moment, what you want to do, and be authentic to it. For most people, like a normal daily example will be at work. They're going to try and do something that they think their boss wants. They're going to try and say something that they think their coworker or boss wants to hear. They're trying to impress somebody to look good. They're trying to, be this version of someone that they feel everyone else around them wants. And yet they're it's like nails on a chalkboard inside of them, right? Like all of us have experienced this. What kind of turmoil and stress do you actually feel in your life for trying to be something that you're not, versus those moments that you can recall where you were just authentically you, like that freedom?
So liberating.
It is liberate yourself day to day, right? Like be authentic. Now here's the rub, and this happens a lot with some of our clients. After we coach and consult them, and we go through their corporations, we hold seminars and all this thing. We often uncover with our clients that they're inauthentic at work, and therefore often out of alignment with, their choices. And so wake up, stop, and fix that. Get authentic and get in alignment. That might be changing the way you do your work. That might also result in maybe changing your job. Now that sounds scary to some people, right? But if I'm going to go to a dark place here.
Do I got to go with you?
Yes. Okay. So, if I, for example, value, high ethical, moral standards, and from basically a Christian perspective, which is my background, for me to work as a male stripper. And by the way, I do not have the body for that, so it would never happen. But if I were to do that,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Bear with me, guys. This is not going to be a dirty podcast, I promise. But listen, if I were to do that, it would be nails on a chalkboard. I would be so inauthentic. Like every day I'd go to work, I would dread it. I would just be horrified. The pressure would be insurmountable. All of a sudden, I'm seeking therapy. I'm taking antidepressants. I'm going down all these different rabbit holes the culture tells me I need to do because I'm expected to be a certain way, and now I don't feel like I should. So I have this depression. I have all these other issues. So now I seek out professional help, and they're just medicating me and telling me all these other things. Why not just be authentic and not be a stripper? I mean, apply that to yourself in whatever relationship, whether it's work, home, coworkers, friends, whether you're engaged in some hobby that your friends are doing that you don't want to do, whatever it is. Like be you. You do you. Be authentic. Get rid of that burden. And you don't need that pressure in your life, right?
Yeah, and let me play the devil's advocate on that. The converse of that is maybe you should also look at those Christian values that you talked about, and have those been authored by somebody else for you? Like, are you doing that because you think you should do that? Are you thinking that because your parents think you should do that?
Exactly.
Or have you truly authored those values? Have you truly authored those and adopted those as your own? Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm committed to. This is who I'm in alignment.
Yeah, I love that. So in other words, write your own story, and not just story, but write your own definition of you.
Yeah.
And so if you grew up, in a certain set of cultural, norms and expectations, check yourself. Is that what you want? Is that who you are today? Is that something that you're going to also author, sign off on, and become part of you? That's fine. I'm exposed to new ideas, principles, and cultures all the time. And I'm like a sponge, man. If it's something that I love and it resonates with me, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
It's now mine.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Yeah. And you can, like, a simple example of that is food. Like, you grew up eating certain kind of foods.
Ice cream.
Your mom cooked a certain way, and you had certain restaurants that were in close proximity to your home where you grew up.
Taco Bell.
Yep. And then you got married, and you're exposed to a whole new kind of cooking.
So let's pause for a minute, because you remember I married your sister, right?
I'm not going to talk about my mom's cooking here.
The kind of cooking I was exposed to was those like pre-mixed dishes where you add the
hamburger helper.
Yeah,
dude.
those.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I cannot stand to touch a hamburger helper for the life of me.
Yeah, that was the staple that I lived on when I was first
dude,
married.
Dude, we had so much hamburger
can't even
helper
look at that stuff
when we were
anymore.
first married because of your sister.
Hamburger helper.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't. I refuse.
And then you start to go out to eat with friends, and friends will take you to a new restaurant, and then you'll try different kinds of food. I remember 3 years ago, we were actually all in the hospital when my dad was in the hospital, and we needed to go get some dinner. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I looked on my phone.
I remember that.
On Yelp,
Yeah.
and there was a restaurant around the corner that had 5 stars. I'm like, well, it's a Mediterranean restaurant. I've never eaten Mediterranean food before, but it's 5 stars. Let's go do it.
Yeah, it
We
was
did
awesome.
it. Had a great experience there.
Yeah, they had some tzatziki sauce or something on some of
Man,
that
it
meat.
was so
Oh,
good. The
dude.
falafel was so
Oh,
good.
so good.
And now, like Mediterranean food's like my favorite thing. Like
Yep.
we just went. We found this great restaurant in Mesa a couple months ago, and we drive there at least once a month.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
out of this world, incredible Mediterranean food.
Yeah.
And so, over time, you experience more, and you can rewrite your values. In this case, we're talking about food, but this can be extrapolated to those values that are your core values of what you're committed to.
Yeah, I just love it. This this discussion of authenticity, hopefully, it really lands with you, and that you realize and you wake up to the possibility that you're really inauthentic in some areas of your life. It's pretty hard to be inauthentic in every area of your life, and if so, holy cow, wake up! Make those changes.
Yeah.
But absolutely, take the time to think about this. I guarantee there's something out there that you're inauthentic with. Maybe you're part of a group of people in your neighborhood that goes jogging every day, and you hate jogging. But you're there because you've got this fear of missing out, this FOMO, right? Or you're there because you think that that's the cool thing, and they're the cool group of people, and so you do it. But every morning you hate it.
Yep.
Whatever it is in your life, be you. Most likely, it's the kind of conversations you're having with people, the kinds of things that escape your mouth. Just to feel like you're fitting in or chiming in with everybody else on your street or everybody else at work. Like that's the real rub. Like that, I'll tell you from a personal perspective, inauthenticity, when I see it or experience it in others, is just like it makes me gag. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be judgmental by any means, but it's very apparent, and sometimes appalling. A really, really good example, and we've all been here. Go to a car lot. Go to a car lot and buy a car. What are you going to experience? A lot of horrifying inauthenticity. These guys are scrambling to say whatever it is they think you need to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I've done the last couple times when I bought a car?
What?
I haven't even seen it, let alone test driven it. I don't care what the color is. I buy it over the phone. I call up, I buy it, and they're like, well, what color do you want? Because they're trying to fish for things that I might care about. And authentically, I don't care. I mean, I know I'm weird. Most people have to test drive them, and they have to get a specific color. But car salesmen like to identify those things so that they can sell on emotion. And then when you're test driving it, they use phrases like, "Oh, wouldn't you look good when you park this in your driveway?" They start using these possessive terms and make you feel like it's yours. And "Oh, we got your perfect color over here. It happens to have 10 more upgrades that you didn't want." All that kind of stuff. Dude, I just don't have time for inauthenticity in my life. I don't care for it. I don't want to deal with it. And one of my experiences, I guess, is car lots and salesmen. So I literally bought the last 2 or 3 cars without ever seeing that, without ever carrying the color or test driving it. I literally picked it up after I purchased and paid for it, and then drove it home.
It's ironic that their inauthenticity is actually encouraging you to be inauthentic. Wouldn't this look good in your driveway? Like, it's how you look, it's how your appearance is, that they're promoting inauthenticity with their inauthentic behavior. And that's actually one of the hallmarks of authenticity, is that authenticity creates authenticity. So the more authentic you are in your relationship with people, the more magnetic you'll be, and the more that you will encourage people to be authentic with you. And if you're experiencing someone is inauthentic, be open to the possibility that you actually created that your inauthenticities enabled them to be inauthentic with you. So that can be a hard one to swallow, because we all know what it's like when we're with someone who's inauthentic, how just uncomfortable that is. It's like Ben said, it's nails on the chalkboard. But be open to the possibility that you are the one that's been inauthentic, and that your inauthenticity created the inauthenticity that people are being with you.
Yeah, I agree. And the challenge, of course, is to start being authentic, and that's not something you should phase into, in my opinion. This is one of those cold turkey moments. Like, just stop. Like, there's no reason to wean yourself off of inauthenticity. This isn't some drug, just stop.
Well, the danger in weaning is your brain is incredible at rationalizing. Okay, you will be in total denial, and it's all about this whole looking good. Where you want to be seen as a good guy, you want to be seen as the person that works the hardest and gets the most done and accomplishes the most and is the most successful. You want to be seen like that.
Right.
And so your brain, if you don't make a declaration, if you don't take a stand that I'm going to be authentic, then just, give yourself an hour and you're going to be falling right back into that trap of thinking that inauthentic way of being.
Yeah. So I'll give you a personal example of the power of authenticity. In one of my careers, I'll put it that way, as an attorney, most people know that I really hate lawyers. I mean, I really do. And I know there's a bunch of good people that are attorneys. I have a lot of good friends that are attorneys. So I don't want to generalize because that's not fair. But in essence, I even went to law school with zero desire or intention to be an attorney. And that's a story for another day. But lo and behold, one of the careers that I've enjoyed over the years has been as an attorney. And I have to be very careful about that. The only authentic way I can do that is to declare that I don't like attorneys and that I'm going to do it differently. And so, when I meet with a client, a potential client, I can't recall a conversation with a potential client where I haven't told them that I don't like attorneys. And I just speak very frankly about the fact that the legal industry, as they may have experienced or known it, is not what they're going to experience with me. And I typically dress down when I meet with clients because that's authentic for me. I'm usually in a collared shirt and jeans. Just unless I have to go to court. But the reason is because it would be inauthentic for me to wear a suit and tie and sit there and read statutes and laws all day and try and profess to them the importance of XYZ law and how it relates to the, like, don't get me wrong, I understand all of that very well and I'm good at it. But when it comes to talking and conversing with a client, I want them to feel comfortable and authentically. I get to do that because I can converse with them about how terrible the industry is. I agree with them. They've probably had experiences where they felt nickeled and dimed and ripped off and whatever and who knows what experience they've had before. And so I'm just really upfront with them. That's not what you experience with me. Most of the time, they don't even have to pay to talk to me, right? I do free consults like all day, every day for people, and I'm just me with them, and they feel that and they comment on that. In fact, in my law office, it's wall to wall, floor to ceiling, bicycle jerseys, race numbers, pictures of bicycle racing, medals, that I've earned hanging on the wall. Like, it does not look like a law office. It almost looks like some sports Hall of Fame or something, because that's what I like. It feels good. I actually have a couple of couches in my office, and when somebody sits down to meet with me, we all sit in the part of the office that has couches and a carpet and rug, and I actually have my dogs usually with me too, and they're sitting there on the floor. Like, it is such a completely different experience. People are blown away by it. The power is that they're totally drawn to it. In fact, especially when I first started, they'd ask a question that I had no idea what the answer was. I mean, there is no way on earth I knew what that was. I've never even remotely experienced that kind of a legal issue before, and so I would simply tell them, I have no idea what the answer is. I mean, it's not just honesty, it's authenticity. I have no idea what the answer is. And then I would convey to them, but I would do whatever it takes to get that. I mean, I'll get the answer. I'll figure it out. Just give me the time, and that's time that I won't charge to you, but I'm happy to go get it. I mean, I've learned how to find the answer. That's what law school teaches you. I know how to go find the answer. I'll go get that for you, and then we'll draft the appropriate, contract paperwork, whatever, and we'll hammer that out. That has proved to be one of the most successful things in my business is authenticity. It literally is the magnet. You do not have to go find the business. The business will come to you because so many people experience this world as inauthentic. If you can just be authentic, they just come.
Such a breath of fresh air. Great story. Well, let's wrap this up. So, when we first started, we talked about authenticity as aligning who you are with who others experience you as. So, our homework assignments, we asked you to pause. We asked you to Make sure that you've become clear on what you're committed to, because if you're not sure on what you're committed to, if you don't know yourself, then you won't be authentic to anything that you know
That's
yourself to be. So make sure that you've done that. Be awake to how others experience you. You know, are you experiencing others as inauthentic? If so, that could be a warning sign that you're being inauthentic with them, and that your inauthenticity is creating that inauthenticity with other people.
And on that note, your authenticity will create their authenticity.
That's the power of it. That's the magnetic power.
Yeah, watch that. Try
That's
that.
the
Experiment
magnetic power
with
of
it.
it. Yep. And authenticity is a daily choice. This is something that you have to decide every day. Am I going to be authentic? Am I going to be true to who I am? Or am I going to be swept up by the world and what the world thinks I should be and do and say?
Right. And so I would add to that, cold turkey. Cold turkey. Go cold turkey on this.
Yep.
This is not something you should mess around with. Absolutely, just try it on every issue of your life. You know, not just a little here and there. Just try living a day as completely authentic.
That's a tongue twister.
Authentically as you can. You know, just absolutely be you. You do you. Try that for a whole day. Be authentic and live authentically and experience the power and the magnetic element of that. Again, no, cold turkey. Just do it.
You're the author of your life.
Yeah.
You are the author of your life. Create it powerfully.
Live limitlessly.
Yep. You'll have epic results. You can affect change in yourself and other people just with this simple thing.
The whole point why we do these is so that you can experience what it's like to live life without limits. You know, embrace these principles, adopt them, live them, and then, of course, often, just so everyone knows here in conclusion, the reason we select the topics that we talk about is based on a lot of the questions that we get submitted. So thanks for all of the emails and for those of you that have our phone numbers, for texting us or calling us or whatnot, we really appreciate that. You can always find us on our Facebook page or through our website, effectepic.com, and you can always find these podcasts there as well. So feel free to check out our blog, our podcast, comment, continue submitting. We love those requests. Thanks to those of you who wanted to hear a little bit more about authenticity. Hopefully we address your questions, and we look forward to you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Principles of Epic Growth podcast, your path to epic performance and life with incredible growth.